Hey, how's it going, guys? So back with another video. As you can kind of see, you're watching it right now. This is gonna be kind of just a fun little video. It's not gonna be, too crazy or anything like that. It's not a movie review. We're just gonna kind of go over my top 10 horror remakes. Obviously, I put them in order, as you will see, but it doesn't mean that one's better, gonna be one better than the other. It's just kind of what I prefer, what I like, my preferences. So obviously, there might be some on this list that you guys absolutely hate. Might be some not on this list at all that you guys absolutely love. Who knows? But either way, you can leave it down in the comment section below. Let me know. Did you like my list? Did you hate my list? Get crazy down there. Tell me some that you like that I didn't put on the list, or whatever. Also, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Only 17 subscribers away from 100, which is awesome. Thank you guys. That's beyond great. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Also, I rearranged it a little bit. I mean, I had to put Sam up there. His light's on, but you can barely see that, unfortunately. It sucks. Maybe I should put a new light bulb in there, make it a little brighter for you guys. So first one's going to be The Blob. Came out in 1988. Obviously, this is the one with Kevin Dillon. Directed by Chuck Russell, I believe it is. But basically, obviously, this is the remake from the original, The Blob. If you haven't seen the original, I definitely would go see it. But this one is more graphic, more gruesome. Especially, I feel like if you've seen it, the scene where the guy gets sucked through the sink. Overall, it's a pretty graphic movie for being a remake of, I think the earlier one came out in the 50s, maybe 60s, somewhere around there. But overall, really good movie. I would definitely go see it. Unfortunately, I can't hold the physical copy up because I'm in the process of moving, so all my movies are basically in boxes, which sucks. But luckily, I have a lot of the digital copies for now, and then there's a couple movies that I pulled out just because I wanted to watch them, favorites. So number 9 is going to be Suspiria from 2018. I always get this guy's last name wrong, but Luca Guadagnino. I butchered it. I'm sorry. He's probably not ever going to watch this, but sorry. Honestly, this is a good remake. It's solid. It's obviously it's on my lower end. But it's just not good as Argento's. What is going to be better than Argento's, especially if you remake his stuff? It's not as colorful. It does a good job at kind of being its own movie, really, and not, just a shot-for-shot remake like how I believe Psycho was with Vince Vaughn. But it kind of brings its own, stuff to the movie, I guess, for lack of better words. It has its own rhythm. It doesn't follow it beat by beat. Obviously, yes, it's a remake, so it's going to be there, but regardless. So number 8, and I'll be putting the movie, at least posters or something above here for reference. But Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it came out in 2003 with Jessica Biel. I remember seeing this. Obviously, I'm going to date myself a little bit, but I'm probably not that old. But I was 13 when this came out. Scared the shit out of me. I'm not going to lie. For the longest time before I moved to Texas, I thought, because I didn't know it was based off of Ed Gein. So for the longest time, especially after I saw this movie, I thought it was just found footage for the most part. Like when the beginning scene when he goes down in there and the guy comes back, or obviously Leatherface comes back up at him. I'm like, okay, cool, like that guy's just alive, because obviously at the end of the movie, spoilers, and in the movie he just gets away. So I never wanted to go to Texas. I'm not gonna lie. I'll tell you that, guys, right now. I literally thought it was real. I thought the guy was just literally like 7 years old, running around. Obviously, we saw that in the newest remake, which he is like 100 years old and apparently in really good health. So watch out. But it does a good job at paying homage to the original, but still kind of make it its own. It's really gritty too. Marcus Nispel directed this one. You will see him down later on the list. He directed one of the other remakes as well. It was kind of still in that same era, like the early 2000s. Everybody was trying to remake a lot of the old school horror movies. So the next one is The Ring. Obviously, this is going to be probably a lot higher on other people's lists. I like the movie. It's been a long time since I've watched it. I probably should go back to it. It scared the crap out of me, especially the originals. I think I have them. Yeah, I have all the originals right up there as well. Those phenomenal movies. I think those are 10 times better than the Americanized version, but it's still, the Americanized version is still really good with Naomi Watts. It's just, It's eerie. It's just eerie. So let's just leave it at that. So number 6, Friday the 13th from 2009. So again, like I just said, Marcus Nispel remade this movie, only 6 years apart from the original, or not the original, wow, from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the one that he redid as well. But with that being said, this has one of the best cold opens of any horror remake. Um, if you've seen it, you'll know. Literally, the cold open seems like an entire movie by itself. It's great. There's great kills. One big thing I do like about this, it doesn't make him just a killing zombie, basically, that comes out, kills people, and then gets killed himself, and then gets reincarnated and stuff. He actually has, a tunnel system. He has like little bells and traps and stuff kind of set up so he knows where people are at. So it kind of shows you, like, okay, cool, this is how he got to this position so quick, because he has tunnels to get underneath and where he just pops up. Because earlier in the movies, in like the 80s and 90s and all that, it literally is like, boom, he just shows up. Oh, how did he get there? Like, he just transported, and everybody hated that. So next one, I love this movie. It's just there's ones ahead of this. I mean, I love every movie on this list, but there's ones ahead of this that I like more. But still, this is an amazing movie. Definitely go see it. Night of the Living Dead from 1990. Obviously directed by Tom Savini. Has Tony Todd in it. He's the main lead. Obviously, this is in color. It's more graphic because it's from the 90s, and obviously Tom Savini. It's Tom Savini. You're gonna have really good special effects regardless. But with that being said, it switches up the story a little bit, especially the ending. Is definitely a little bit different, but it makes the female character a little bit more badass in this movie. Obviously, the first Night of the Living Dead, I believe, is 68. She's just, oh my god, help me. Oh my god, hey, help me. Oh my god, hey, can you help me? Like, that's all it is. And unfortunately, that's what it was back in the day. It was men, and they were, the superior, and they were the stronger ones. The women were just so helpless, especially in Dawn of the Dead too. For the most part, she's just, oh, I'm pregnant. I mean, obviously, she, learns how to fly. And I'm getting off on a tangent. I just love those movies. So number 4, The Fly. Again, I feel like this is probably going to be higher up on other people's lists. 1986 is when this one came out, obviously directed by Cronenberg, master upon master of horror movies. He's done just a crazy amount. His son is a great director as well. The movie he just did is blanking on me. Oh, The Possessor. That movie is amazing. So it just seems like it runs in the family. But obviously Gina Davis, Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Goldblum turns into a fly. The special effects are phenomenal. The story's great too. Obviously it's a remake. We all know the original, kind of the old school one. You'll see a big fly guy wearing a lab coat. Still a great movie, but this movie is phenomenal. Honestly, my top 4 or 5 could literally just be kind of interswitched. It's just some I grew up on and I've seen them more. Those will kind of take precedence, I guess. So number 3, Evil Dead. Came out in 2013. This is one of the newest remakes that we have on this list. Basically, it does a good job of paying homage to the original, and you get all that crazy gore, you get the scary effects and all of that's crazy. But this definitely takes a more serious tone. There's a little bit of comedy here and there, but obviously if you've seen Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, Bruce Campbell hams it up. The first one not so much, but the second and third, like, it's really hammy. Even in the Ash vs. Evil Dead TV series as well. I mean, that's just what he does. That's what he's known for, and it's great. It's Sam Raimi directing and all of those. It's great. But this one does a really good job of taking more of a serious tone. And for the longest time, I almost didn't want to watch it because I didn't want to taint the originals, but I watched it and I absolutely loved it. This is actually getting a 4K release pretty soon here as well. So I'm excited to see all that crazy gore on 4K. Second, this is, again, probably pulling on some nostalgia for me, but the Dawn of the Dead remake from 2004. This, obviously, George Romero, Dawn of the Dead, cannot be touched. That is literally either my top or my top 2 favorite horror movies of all time. I can watch that every single day. I can watch all the different cuts. I'll never get sick of it. I absolutely love that movie. So without a doubt, this might be the reason why. But Zack Snyder's debut, he does really good with horror movies, especially kind of. I think he did the Netflix movie Army of Dead. I think it is what it's called with Batista and all that. That was really good too. I mean, he just does a really good job of creating action within horror. Obviously, Night of the Living Dead and all those zombies are slow walkers. This one literally they're sprinting at you. I mean, there's one scene where they're trying to get into the mall, and there's a zombie with no arm. And mind you, that zombie, it wasn't a prosthetic, it wasn't anything. The guy literally just didn't have an arm, and they threw him in the movie, and they threw makeup on him too. And he's just sprinting at them like these zombies are rabid. They don't care. Like that's what really scares you, because obviously you think somebody's walking through and just kind of slowly meandering by. You can just walk right about them, around them, or run, or get in a bike, or whatever you're gonna do. It's easier to get by. But if these bad boys are sprinting at you, and this one dude's got a 6-pack and he's like, you're dead. Like you're just dead. And it shows in the movie too, where people get tackled and then they get bit and they turn into zombies. It's great. Not to mention James Gunn did the screenplay. So obviously Zack Snyder, James Gunn, you really can't go wrong with that. So number one, I feel like some people probably are going to know what the number one remake is, but obviously it's a thing from 1982. John Carpenter, Kurt Russell, Keith Davis, Wilford Brimley, the Beatles, that guy, back in his heyday. The best special effects. It's basically, it's a thriller, it's a horror movie, but it's basically like you can't trust your fellow man. You can't trust because they might be the alien that's infecting them, and you have no idea, and you got to fend for yourself. Then you got to trust people to live, and then the ending. It's just that movie overall is just amazing. I mean, John Carpenter has so many hits, so many good movies. It You can't go wrong with John Carpenter. Obviously, when it gets to the later '90s and stuff, some of his movies kind of fall off here and there. I'm not a huge fan of a couple of them, but I still watch them because I love John Carpenter. Obviously, this is a remake from The Thing from Another World. I believe it was 1951 is when that movie came out. But regardless, this is the superior movie. Obviously, he took some liberties here and there, and obviously it's more graphic. Obviously, it's a scary movie, horror movie. But regardless, so with that being said, what do you guys think of my, list? Like I said, a lot of these are interchangeable. It was more of really, my favorite movies, my favorite horror remakes, and then I kind of just put them in order because I figured that'd be easier for myself. Also, I have, I don't know if you saw my Instagram, MediaGalore17. It'll be posted somewhere. I don't even know where, but it'll be posted somewhere. But I got something else from Spirit Halloween that I'm going to do a giveaway with, more for spooky season, so around October or so. But I'm really excited about that. It's the first time I've actually seen them in person. But yeah, so leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll keep this thing going. See you later.